Well, here we are again with another video clip, another small tutorial of things that you can do in the kitchen. Now, these days we're in quarantine, we can't really go out. We have stuff in the refrigerator that might be going downhill. If we don't use fresh herbs, if we don't use certain aromatics that we have in the refrigerator, they might go to waste. We do not want that. There's many ways that we can do to make different utilizations with them. So today we're going to make herb sofrito, or herb oil, if you want to call it that way. We have some herbs that were in the refrigerator. They are starting to be less fresh, but they're still good. They still have fresh flavor. However, we want to use a couple of them. In this case, what I found in the refrigerator is some fresh basil, some fresh oregano, some thyme. I have some basil, and I also have here some Italian parsley that we're going to be using. As other aromatics, we have half an onion that we found in the refrigerator. We have some garlic cloves that we're going to use, and just some regular seasonings that you might have in your pantry. Once you've taken the herbs out of the stem, in this case you have the thyme, you want to pull against the grain, if you will, and the herb releases from the stem, leaving you with a clean stem that you can later on discard. For this application, you want to remove the leaves from the stem. In some herbs, we do not use the stems. For example, the thyme, it's a little bit woodsy, so you don't want this rough texture in the final product. If you have some of these small stems, you can use because they're tender. And as well, you can use some of the parsley. Now with the parsley, you can go ahead and use some of the stem, because as we all know in the food business, we use parsley and parsley stems to flavor stocks, sauces, and other things. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop this up a little bit, just so I can help my small device here. You can do this in the blender, you can do it in the food processor if you have. I'm doing a small amount, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it in a small little Nutri bullet. Once you have this rough chop, doesn't have to be perfect, you can set it aside, and depends how much garlic you like. In this case, I just want to flavor the oil, or the sofrito, if you will. So you have a garlic. An easy way to get the husk out of a garlic is just tap it like this, and the garlic peels right away. Once your garlic has been peeled, make sure you don't have that papery husk all around. You can go ahead and give it a little bit of a cut lengthwise, as well with the half onion that you found in your refrigerator. It can be any type of onion, shallot, red onion, doesn't matter. It's just gonna impart a little bit of flavor to your sofrito. We're gonna put the onion and the garlic, and you can certainly do this in stages. If you can't fit everything at once, you can certainly do it in stages. So basically I have a good olive oil. I like to put a little bit of vinegar to preserve and give a little bit of acidity. In this case, I'm using sherry vinegar, but if you have rice vinegar, red wine vinegar, it's also good. A little bit of salt. Salt brings out the flavor. And if you feel like it's a little bit stiff or a little bit thick, we have a little bit of water that we can incorporate to make it a little bit smoother. So basically what you want to do is you want to start packing your device with the herbs. And if you can't fit it all, don't worry, because as you blend it together, it's gonna pulverize it and it's gonna make more space to add a little bit more. So while I get this situated, we're gonna pause for a brief moment, and then we're gonna come back and I'll see you how it looks like. So stay tuned. All right, so we have our aromatics and our herbs. We're gonna go ahead and add a little bit of water, touch of vinegar, just to get that acidity. We're just doing basically like a teaspoon. You can add more if you feel you need to, but for now we're just adding like a teaspoon of vinegar and a pinch of salt. You can use kosher salt, table salt, whatever you have on hand. So what we're gonna do is add a little bit of oil, blend, and if we need to add some more, we'll add some more. Altogether, we're probably going to use like a third cup of oil to a half cup of oil for this application. We're going to start doing a little bit of pulse. You're going to always take a look, see how it looks. We're gonna take a look in here. Smells super fresh. I'm gonna add just a little bit more of the olive oil. Maybe a little bit more pinch of salt. Basically, there you have it. Small sofrito made with herbs. Onion, garlic, a little bit of olive oil and vinegar, pinch of salt. Basically, you can freeze this in the ice box and you can use it as you need for poultry, for different meats. You can do pasta. I'm fixing to do a little bit of an herb pasta with some chicken, so it's gonna work very well with it. In the freezer, it can last you up to 3 to 6 months if it's frozen, and then you can just defrost it as you need it. So in this quarantine, let's make the best out of the kitchen by doing sauces, doing sofritos, putting them in the ice box, and using them as we need it. So I hope this was useful. Stay cooking, stay happy, God bless, and until next time.